There is so much. That was like just a little taste. There's so much pent-up demand, right? And if you think about like the $200 trillion of assets in this world that are behind what I'll call like the institutional gateway. So when you talk to like family offices, which have huge flexibility, 100% are in some way in cryptocurrency. But any of these other institutional funds, they can't touch this stuff unless it's an ETF or some other kind of regulatory blessed activity. So yeah, I think that was just a taste of what is coming.
But in terms of that flow, because, and I'm a supporter, so I completely agree with what you're saying, but is there also that risk that you get, you know, the ARK kind of fund flow, that you get this initial huge surge, all of this retail money coming in, and then perhaps events might cause people to liquidate, and then it doesn't necessarily, like, people shouldn't be expecting high and to the right is the point that I'm making.
I think that's a fair statement. The one thing about cryptocurrency, which is different than actual gold, right? When the price of gold goes up, you can actually mine more gold. When the price of like Bitcoin goes up, you can't really mine more Bitcoin. The issuance rate is set, and at some point it will stop. And so I think we might discover that pricing in Bitcoin is more inelastic than other types of sort of inflation or restricted supply hedge type of activities. So it could be, again, it could return to its status as a remarkably volatile asset. And especially if people are buying it as a hedge against like political uncertainty. We seem to have loads of geopolitical uncertainty going around at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. And there's going to be a fair amount of political uncertainty next year with all the elections lined up around the world. But where does that leave the story about cryptocurrency adoption, right? Digital currency adoption that we were talking about, we were tom-tomming about at the peak of the pandemic?
So that one is a harder one to peg, because if you look at the people who are buying Bitcoin, they are buying it as an asset. They're not buying it as like a payment tool. And if you look at people who are buying Ethereum, they are buying it as a computing platform for business transactions and DeFi services, and really as a mechanism for transacting with stable coins. I think for payments, one thing that's been proven very well is we're going to stick with fiat currencies, stable coins, and of course now we're inching towards this era potentially of central bank digital currencies.
Right.